Hey guys, hi, welcome back. Well, today we are talking about hobbies. This question has been asked by a lot of you. Well, you've written to me through emails, you've dropped in your request in the comment section, and you've asked me through Facebook, Instagram, and a lot of other modes how to describe your hobby. Yes, especially in your IELTS speaking section, in a job interview, or at work, or any walk of life. Whenever you come across this particular question, that how would you describe your hobby? Especially if you have to speak on it for at least 1 to 2 minutes, right? Then how would you continue talking about it? How would you add your ideas? How would you sum it up? How would you talk coherently on a particular hobby? Well, if you also face this situation, then I have listed down the perfect, simple and effective approach which will help you to talk about any hobby under the sun. So let's quickly jump on to the approach and let me explain it to you by taking a particular example. Whatever your hobby is, it could be something common like playing games, video games, swimming, singing, dancing, cooking, or it could be something uncommon like aquascaping. Whatever it is, use this approach. Now these hobbies help you learn new skills, and some of them can also turn into a serious profession. We all need to build up our skills, right? I personally use Skillshare. Skillshare is an online platform which helps you acquire new skills, learn new courses from teachers across the world. Let me quickly show you how to use it.
Skillshare has multiple courses. You can see all the categories here. They have courses on design, illustration, business, technology, photo and film, entrepreneurship, writing, and many more. And these tutors are across the globe. You can just learn from them and write at the comfort of your own home. Isn't that very simple?
So isn't it a great place to learn new things? Why not? And if you sign up, that is, well, you can find the details in the description below. The link is there. The first 500 people who sign up for it will get 2 months of free trial. Isn't that amazing? So don't worry, you can discontinue your subscription if you don't like it, but I think the chances are pretty less for that. So go and avail that opportunity and learn new skills. So whenever you have to start about talking your hobby, it is always a good idea to give a bit of spiel about it. For example, you can say that it's great to have a hobby because it keeps you occupied. I have many, and swimming is my favorite. Right? So we've given a general talk about it and then zeroed down to swimming, to dancing, to playing table tennis, anything which you like. It's always good to give a bit of introduction and then come to your favorite hobby. So once we are done with this approach, we move on to the next one, which is what. In this, we will explain about that particular hobby, especially if it's an uncommon hobby. Okay? And then we move on to how, and we'll talk different types of it. So for example, our hobby is, let's say, swimming. Okay, so we will say what swimming is in general, or let's say aquascaping. Then we will just explain a bit about aquascaping. Now if it's something uncommon like aquascaping, you would want to spend some more time because the examiner might not know about it. But if it's something common like swimming, dancing, of course you wouldn't spend so much of time explaining it because everybody knows what it is. What you can say is you can basically talk about the particular form you do. If cooking is your hobby, you can say that, well, I'm into Italian cuisine, and Italian is more about bread or pasta or sauces and stuff like that. Or probably I am more into Indian cuisine and it's more about flavors and spices and slow cooking or whatever it is. So you can talk about that more. So if you are into a particular hobby, it's always good to give a bit of information. Say what about it, right? What. Always remember, I will talk what. Okay. Next, we move on to different types. So, for example, if you're into swimming, you can say, well, the different types of swimming. There is freestyle swimming, breaststroke, backstroke, whatever. So, you can talk about them a bit, okay? And now, once you've spoken about what, and we have explained how we have different styles and types of it. Now always remember, these pointers will help you add on to your main answer, will give you enough matter to talk about for 1 or 2 minutes, and the most important, everything you're talking about is relevant. It's about the topic, it's about the hobby. So you will be scored accordingly, which is of course a great score because you are not deviating from the main topic. Okay, so once we've spoken about what, and now we move on to when. So you can talk about your hobby and remember at the back of your mind that, okay, fine, now I move on to the timings, to the days, to the duration, right? When do you do it? In when, we will talk about time and duration. So you will say that I often swim on Mondays and Wednesdays. So I have given days. You can say I swim 7 days a week or 5 days a week or whatever you want. So you can say what are those days which you prefer to go for swimming, right? Once you've said that, then you will specify more on the timing. Well, I usually prefer morning slots, which is 7 to 8 a.m. or I go after work, which is 6 to 7 p.m. or lunchtime is great for me. That's 12 to 1 p.m., which is where I prefer to go for my hobby or go for swimming or whatever you're doing. So what you've done, you've given the days, you've given the frequency, you've given the timing. Everything is related to the topic and you very smartly explained it, okay? So now once you've done with when, which is timing and duration, you will now move on to where. Always remember these questions. Where? So where can talk about places. You have to, if possible, describe the place. I usually go for swimming, well, in my compound, in my locality, or a particular swimming pool, or a particular institute, or a particular club, wherever you go for swimming. So talk about that particular place. You can also give a bit of spiel about it, like, well, it's a club which is open to students especially. It's a club which welcomes people of all walk of life, or it's for kids, or it's for adults, for females, for males, or whatever it is. Talk about that club more, or talk about that particular swimming pool more if possible. It has a comfortable depth. I love the temperature of the water. It's temperature controlled, or whatever it is. It's an open air swimming pool. It's an enclosed swimming pool. You can talk about it. So now you're understanding whatever your hobby is, wherever you go to play that hobby or to practice that thing, particular activity, you can talk about that particular place you go to, right? So we are talking about that place a bit more, which is again being connected to your hobby. So you are not deviating from the main topic, okay? Now let's move on to the next point. So once we've spoken about where and we've spoken about the place, we will move on to why. In this, you will talk about the place and the time. Now here I mean that why did you choose that particular place? Okay, so when I chose that particular sports complex or that particular swimming pool, it's because it's close to my house. My commute time is much lesser. I can concentrate on my other work. I don't have to waste a lot of time traveling or money even to go to that particular place. It's close to my friend's place, whatever. Why did you choose that particular place? I'm sure we all have answers to this because you've actually chosen that place, right? So it's very simple to answer. So give that answer. Why did you choose that particular time? Well, lunchtime was very comfortable for me because my workload is really high during the morning time, or I wanted to relax in the evening time, and lunchtime was perfectly okay, or evening time was family time, so I wanted to spend time for myself, so I chose lunchtime. Or evening is best for me and I go for swimming during evening slots because there is less crowd, or I can unwind myself after a hectic day of work. So whatever is your particular reason, you can give that why did you choose that particular place and that particular time. Okay, very simple. We are breaking it down to that minute level so that it's easier for you to answer it, connect your answers, make it a long answer so that you can utilize your time effectively and answer all these questions about your hobby. Okay, now let's move on to the next one. we will now talk about the challenges, that is taking it up. So when you took up swimming, playing basketball, or table tennis, or whatever as your hobby, what were the challenges which you faced, right? So you were not having enough time to dedicate to it. So maybe that could be a challenge. The place was pretty far in the beginning. Then you started hunting for something which is closer to your home, or probably you were not able to manage your work-life balance because you were really having a hectic schedule at work, and then how you planned and you kind of came up with solutions. So you'll talk about your challenges and then how did you solve it, right? So that is a little bit of spiel you can say about, let's say, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, and you can talk about that. So that will also add up to your answer. What are the challenges? Because we all face challenges. I'm sure it's not a bed of roses. So we all face challenges. And how do you come up with solutions to solve that, right? So after we speak about challenges and taking it up, then we will move on to inspiration and benefits. I'm sure there has to be some form of inspiration for everybody to take up a particular hobby, right? You would have seen your dad playing, your mom playing, or your neighbor, or your favorite movie star, or you simply loved a particular sports person who has been your inspiration for doing it, right? So you can talk about that inspiration. Who motivated you? Who inspired you to take that particular hobby, take it up, right? And we will talk about the benefits. So after you've taken it up, what are the benefits for you? Well, it's helped in my hand-eye coordination. I've become more agile. I have become more flexible. I love the fitness I have got. I feel much better. My concentration is increased. So whatever it is, what are the benefits which you got after taking that particular activity, right? Or hobby, okay? And then, what advice would you give to others? So, since I benefited so much from it, I would definitely advise other people who are suffering from the same problem which I had before I took up this hobby to take it up. Or probably I would advise people to take it up at a much younger age because they will have more time to practice it, right? Or probably I would advise students that they should play football during weekends, or I would advise everybody who's having, let's say, joint issues or is having a tight body to go for swimming because it relaxes the muscles. So you would exactly know what kind of advice would you be able to give to what kinds of people or what types of people, right? So that is one very, very important thing which a lot of people don't talk about when they talk about their hobbies. Now this is some key nuggets, some important areas which I am highlighting, which you can focus on and make your answer really in depth and different. And let's see the last point. So after you've done that, you would, of course, as I say, connect it back. So you would sum it up. So, well, you can say to recapitulate, well, you know that word, I've used it, or to sum up, swimming is my favorite hobby and I simply love it because it makes me agile, it makes me alive, relaxes me, and I look forward to it every Wednesday or every weekend or something like that. So you will end up talking about it, you will sum it up. Right, so these are the points. Let's do a quick summary. So you will first do a general talk, which is talking generally. Then you will say what, which is what is that particular hobby. Then you will say when do you use it, your time and your particular day. Then you will say where, you will talk about that particular place. You will say why have you chosen that place. You will then talk about challenges, what are the challenges you faced and how you overcame it, and then inspiration, who inspired you to do it, and of course what advice would you give to others, and at last summing it up. Well, that's all, my dear. You know how to speak on your hobby now. You're a champion. Practice it and let me know how all this is going. Are you enjoying or not? You are my rock star. You know it, and you will be a champion soon. So like, subscribe, comment and share. You know the drill, and let me know if anything else you want me to make a video on. Thank you so much and all the very best with explaining your hobby. Bye-bye. Take care.